Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade. Welcome to another amazing, fresh out of the movie theater review, where today I just got through watching Ryan Coogler's latest film, Sinners, in IMAX, and I'm going to be giving you my very vague, very spoiler-free thoughts, because obviously, while this isn't, like an MCU movie or a big franchise movie or anything like that, which is what makes it so wonderful, the trailers definitely harken back to that time where trailers did what they were supposed to do, where they just gave you just enough to sell you on seeing the movie instead of giving you the whole movie in the trailer. So out of respect for those amazing trailers and all the people who made that amazing decision to respect the filmmaker, I'm going to be very vague with my thoughts on this film. And with all that out of the way, I absolutely love this movie from start to finish. Going back to my The Woman in the Yard review, I said that I was kind of just bummed out that The Woman in the Yard was rather mediocre. I still enjoyed some things about that film, but I was hoping whenever it's honestly just a rule of thumb with me that whenever I see a black-led horror film, whether that's like black-led in the sense that there's a predominantly black cast, or it has a black director behind it, I just cross my fingers that it's just another really solid black-led horror film on the level of the Jordan Peele films, or the the two Candyman movies, 1992 and 2021. And I also recall saying in that very same review that since The Woman in the Yard couldn't quite pull that off, unfortunately, that I was looking to Ryan Coogler to pull it off when Sinners came out. And having just seen Sinners, guess what, kids? He pulls it off. I love this movie from start to finish. And it works because, again, going back to my Woman in the Yard review, it really does succeed. It really does succeed in being that just classic folkloric urban legend horror film where there's a mythology, there's a set of rules, there's an urban legend, there's a myth, and you're just watching the horror play out as it does. And thankfully, that's not all this film has going on for it, that it's just a simple, urban legend-based horror film. There's definitely a lot else going on here. Movie explores, themes of the blues and how impactful blues music is, especially to us black folks. Also explores, of course, racism with the time period that it takes place in, power dynamics, and, essentially definitely black trauma with how, being seen as inferior can really mess some folks up. Also explores that conflict between there's definitely themes of religion with wanting to be righteous and also even that desire to I guess what some people would call, if you're religious, even if you believe in that sort of thing, lustful or sinful, kind of that dichotomy, kind of that psychological struggle. All that good stuff is explored here, and it's backed by a powerhouse cast. You have Michael B. Jordan, and this is not a spoiler, both trailers show you this, playing a dual role as a set of identical twins, which is not always easy to do, and this is the best identical twin performance I've seen since Armie Hammer and The Social Network, where I genuinely bought that not only are you two different people, but you're also still identical twins. So it's hard to sell, it's hard to kind of sell a performance like that and pull both of those things off, but Michael B. Jordan pulls both of those things off, and everybody else is great here too. Hallie Steinfeld, I'm so sorry, I don't remember her name. The main hunter from Loki is great. Delroy Lindo is really great. He had the audience cracking up, man. He had me cracking up. And the breakout star in this, Miles Keaton, where it really is more or less everything kind of goes back to that character. Though Michael B. Jordan is still obviously front and center, he's definitely the star of this film. It's really the story of Miles Keaton and his story of wanting to be an aspiring musician while having kind of a life that involves the conflict of religious piety, and I'll leave it at that. And also last but definitely not least, and I'm still not going to say what it is, there's the horror element in all of this. Of course, it's a horror movie. It markets itself as a horror movie, so you have that main thing as well. And I will say this about Sinners, and this kind of leads into the one thing I didn't, that did bothered me a little bit, where when it was ultimately revealed what this was going to be about, what the main issue, the main problem that needs to be solved would be, I was just kind of like, okay, we're doing this again. You know, it's not bad. I don't mind this thing. I've seen plenty of films involving this subgenre of horror, if you will, that I have thoroughly enjoyed. I don't mind movies that feature these guys, but I was just kind of like, okay, you know, okay. But I'll be goddamned if this movie didn't pull it off and make it its own, while still, like I said, going back to that folkloric urban legend element, giving you all of those classic tropes that you love, but still manage to make it feel refreshing. But with all of that being said, it's one of those things where they do such a good job of introducing the main thread of the film, where it's like, okay, goddamn, you're not wasting any time. You're really kicking the ground running, where I could have used a little bit more setup and backstory for the central thread of the film, because it just comes crashing in. But they tell you that you know, there's a whole other backstory to this that you unfortunately don't ever really get to see. They just tell you this thing came from here. You know, it's kind of like, you know, been around for a while, it seems like, but that's all you get. And I really wish I could have seen more of that, because they did such a good job with introducing it and just using it throughout the movie. But nonetheless, this still kicked ass from start to finish. I was like Ebenezer Scrooge at the end of A Christmas Carol watching this thing, man. As giddy as a schoolboy. I cannot emphasize that enough. I fell in love with Sinners after one watch. And yes, after one watch, it is, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be ironic, it's one of the greatest movies I have ever seen in my entire life. And the fact that I know that after one watch, after having just seen it, you could probably guess what I'm going to give it at the end of this. But yeah, in saying all of that, love this movie. They really, really did pull it off, and this is a modern day black horror movie classic. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart, Ryan Coogler, for making this film as great as it is. You don't have a single bad film in your filmography. Every film in your filmography is you know, pretty much perfection, in my opinion. That includes Wakanda Forever. I know, you know, with the Black Panther sequel, some people were like, oh, I really love the Black Panther sequel, so I said it. In my opinion, every film in Ryan Coogler's filmography thus far is flawless, and Sinners is one of those movies. And in wrapping it up, I am going to go ahead and give Sinners a perfect 10 out of 10. Oh yes, and before, so it's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's perfect, it's flawless, it's awesome. I loved it from start to finish. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you have to check this film out in IMAX. It was made for that format. The IMAX aficionado, Christopher Nolan himself, helped Coogler out, and it looks beautiful in this format. I loved watching it on the biggest screen, one of the biggest movie screens in the world. Check Sinners out in IMAX. So perfect 10 out of 10 for Sinners. This has been another edition of Wade Watches. Just got through watching not only one of the best movies of 2025, one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life, period. And again, I'm dead ass serious about that. And yeah, like whatever else comes out after this, the bar has been set high. Mission Impossible, Superman, Fantastic Four, whatever, I guess like obscure A24 movie that I don't quite know about yet, all that good stuff. Whatever comes next, the bar has just been set really high, because this is a perfect movie. It's a 10 out of 10, and I loved it from start to finish. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, keep doing stuff together, man. Love Sinners. So this has been another edition of Wade Watches, and I'll see you lovely people next time. Namaste and peace to y'all.